be a little bit concerned if I was Wildcard, actually, seeing this lineup.
Which is interesting because, we talk about having some unconventional core pickups with the fact that they have the Sven, but now, of course, although the Pudge, is more meta, we are seeing that is very popular. And then with the old 11 Broodmother too, it seems like we don't care about Cleave. We know that we can run you over, but how well do you think Wildcard's going to do here? Like, what do they need to do to kind of get ahead? Because it feels like right now you're leaning towards Xtreme Gaming's draft.
Yeah, I'm leaning a little bit more towards them. I think what Wildcard need to have happen here is Sam's rotations. How is he going to make stuff happen on this Chen? Where is he going to go? I think I'm expecting them to do a 2-1-2 setup as for where they start out the lanes, but Chen is a hero that wants to make moves and take towers early. In order to make that happen, though, he first needs to secure his Sven. So can Sven be protected well enough by the Chen in the laning stage? Can he get off to a good start that Chen can then leave him and go make moves that he needs to do? I think that comes down to be the crucial thing. So I would follow Chen a lot if I wanted to be a Wildcard supporter in this.
Okay, well, there's a lot of pressure on Sammy to be able to make these rotations, be efficient, put down the ganks and all the tower pushing, but it's going to be a little bit of an uphill challenge here for Wildcard. Looks like we do have a little issue right now. We're going to get you into this game as soon as possible, folks, but do have a couple connections that need to get restarted here. So pretty excited, though. I mean, old 11 on the Broodmother. This guy is super fun to watch. There's this whole thing where in the Chinese scene, it's like old 11, when old 11 goes in, you need to be ready because he's just going to run in with his face and he doesn't wait for his team in a sense. He is the one that's just like, let's go, let's charge in there. So I'm going to be very interested to see then how he moves around the map with this Broodmother.
Yeah, he was doing the same thing in the series they just played as well. He was playing Centaur, and he was indeed doing, as he said, he led the way and let his team follow. He at one point blinked in, caught someone, and he was like, "Where's my teammates?" And he just pressed his ulti, like, "Get over here! Come help me kill this guy." But Broodmother is a less team-dependent hero. He is platinum tier on the Broodmother, so certainly plays a fair share of her. But this is less team-dependent and more about asserting, some pressure and dominance over a certain area and making it easier for your team to play the rest of the map. So we'll be curious to see how he's going to perform on this. I feel like I haven't seen his Broodmother in a long time. I've seen him play a lot of other action-heavy mid offlaners, but Brood is a bit more like a carry in the sense that you can sit and just farm a lot and pressure.
Well, I think it'll be interesting because I feel like I remember in the past, usually they would ban old 11's Broodmother, especially if it was more in the meta. But this could be the game where they go, oh, yeah, that's right. He plays that. We should never let him take that again.
Might be intentional, here on day one of Last Chance Qualifier. Just put it out there. Get a Brood game so that teams might have to think about banning it in the first phase. Already he's getting tipped here as the game starts out. Last pick Brood.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the mind games. Everybody really wants to get that final spot for sure here in the Last Chance Qualifiers. My other concern, too, is we talked about, this Broodmother, right, is the fact that, old 11's probably going to be moving around the map. He's going to be trying to make the space. But at the same time, when you look at the rest of the draft coming out from Xtreme, they don't have very good tower push. Eventually, Lena will be able to, kind of ramp up with Fiery Soul, but it's not going to be easy by any means.
Yeah, that's when you have carry Pudge. It gives that effect where Pudge can be a big, thick carry, but he doesn't really push buildings. He pushes by killing the opponents or scaring the opponents away from defending and then slowly taking the tower. But Lena makes up for that, more than makes up for it, by just having Fiery Soul and hitting very fast. I think they'll be okay in that department still.
Are there any specific lane-to-lane matchups that we want to be keeping our eyes on, aside from the fact that, we talked about Sam having that very crucial just presence in this early laning game?
No, it seems like both teams are setting up just by positioning right now. They're doing what we sort of expect them to be doing. It's going to be Chen and Sven together, the safe lane duo Wildcard, and of course old 11's Broodmother is going to be there as well. Oh. A little bit of a hook attempt for a rune.
I don't know if they really want to deal with the Vailama though right now. I'll get a couple smacks off, but for the most part, it just feels like people want to head off to the lanes.
2 for 2 on the bounty runes. No advantage for either team from the start.
I do love these voice lines. I don't know. I think that one is Song of the Siren. If my Brazilian Portuguese is correct. I'm not 100%
Oh.
sure. But the oohs at the end too is beautiful. Man, I should have sung in my voice line. Yours is great, by the way. What do you have? You've got just the laugh. It's very tilting.
Oh yeah, I want something spammable that I can use on my opponents. Now I don't have to, you know, say anything. I can literally just spam my own voice line. It's great.
Yeah, Slacks has been doing that in every game recently. It is very annoying.
It's a marketing strategy.
It absolutely is. I think somebody posted up like saying, oh yeah, you know, Slack's voice line is the most spammed line. And he's like, it's because I spam it in every single one of my own games.
Someone has to start.
So mostly a skirmish up here in the top lane. Nothing too wild. Bottom lane, DY is going to go and throws down that sentry ward off to the side.
Yeah. Bottom lane we see both the camps being blocked, so none of the camps will spawn. Top lane they did get the big camp spawn, so it's going to be available for pulling for Radiant if they want to pull it. And speaking of lanes, I'm looking at mid lane a bit, and so far it looks like Invoker is struggling a little bit. Lina is a very strong hero to start. Her CSing is powerful.
Yeah, she does have a quite nice range. I'm curious in... Oh, hold that thought here over in the mid lane. Lone trying to get off a couple clicks over onto Paparazzi. But I'm curious because normally, you know, when you have something like this Elder Titan, you like having additional creeps that you're able to, you know, go and drop the Spirit on, get that little bonus damage. It's one of the reasons why you mentioned, you know, Chen is not super great against this Elder Titan. Although they're not paired up in the lane against each other. Is there a reason? Is it just like they're too strong with this Primal Beast and the Snapfire in the bottom lane for pulling?
You don't want to allow them to pull. If you, I mean, yeah, you can get stronger on ET by creeps existing, but it's so annoying to have to come and contest if Dire were to pull the big camp. So you just have to try and block. Almost always we see teams just not want to let the opponents get a pull off at all. But he should be looking to deward his own small camp though, so he can get a stack going on that. That can make him really strong for going in and punching on the lane.
And like you said, just goes, gets that dewarding done. I guess the other thing too is, right, you have a safe lane Pudge. Pudge doesn't really do too much early on, so he can't take as much advantage. But DY just going to continue to drop that Spirit, a couple punches off, get some of these last hits secured.
Yeah, this the bottom lane of strength laners. It's all strength heroes on this. Just standing there smacking creeps together.
Super brawly. A bit concerned in this mid lane though, like you said, Lina. She's very, very strong. Definitely feels like, you know, alone. Again, he's the new kid on the block, so to speak, going up against Paparazzi. But the CS difference is pretty big.
Yeah, Invoker can afford to be a little bit behind in CS, like first levels. He's very weak and then he gets stronger, but you need to start recovering. At least they burned out some of the mana from Lina, but rune control would help him. If Snapfire can go and check the bottom room, perhaps on the 4 minutes, that could definitely be one way to stop Paparazzi's advantage here. Because right now he is laying in the right clicks on Invoker, and lane will not get much easier than this.
And I'll be interested to see if they eventually see some sort of a rotation coming out from Sam to maybe put pressure on the mid lane. Not 100% sure though. Are we happy with the way that Sam is playing this top lane currently? I mean, obviously you need to secure the farm for your Sven.
I think he identified a good solution. He found this Frost Mage, and he's just spamming Ice Armor over on Sven, making it so that he can safely stand there and CS and trade hits with Broodmother not really able to do damage to him. Sven is having a very passable laning stage here. It's not bad, but Brood is also finding her farm.
And look at Paparazzi over here in this mid lane. He's trying to put the pressure on alone. Bottom lane, though, more pressure being placed on Lou. You can see them just trying to trade off with the hits, but doesn't look like they'll be able to finish off the Pudge just yet. We talked about that rune control earlier. We did see the rotation come out from PYW over on the Earth Spirit. He got the top water rune secured for Lina, and Lina grabbed the bottom. So, not having the greatest of a time here over in the mid lane. Looks like Alone is actually just alone. Bottom lane, though, there it is. There's the first blood. Divine Llama gonna be able to get the kill on Lou.
Yeah, with that level 2 trample does so much damage. He actually managed to bring him down in the end. And there's not much you can do on ET if you don't have Stomp ready. So they've been going on Pudge over and over, forcing out the Stomp and then killing him when it's on cooldown.
You see that PYW is making his way over to the mid lane. There is no vision here for Alone, so he's got to be a bit careful.
Yeah, he has
See
3
another
heroes.
TP from DY. They want this kill. They'll go for the Laguna down over onto the low ground. They need a couple more clicks. So they keep the spirit on him. Try to chase a little bit further. A nice tornado though from Alone, but the stomp comes in. Alex is here. Cookie hops forward. Looks like Alone. Is he going to be able to make it out? Do they have any sort of detection? They know he's here, but they do not have the detection. And Alone, he's going to survive for another day. They might turn this around on PYW, in fact. Alone waiting patiently. Has to be careful. Ooh, that fire. Oh, man, that Dragon Slave was a little close for comfort.
That was so close, so close. Even his courier surviving with a high ground miss as well. He just barely gets out. That was really big, though. A lot of heroes tried to kill him. He still survives. Keeps back to mid lane, relying on Quas to regen. And wants to defend and get some experience here. With the help now of Snapfire, recognizing that can't really leave Invoker to himself entirely.
I think it's the response reaction. The roll forward, though, a little bit off the mark from PYW. Do they try to challenge us, though? They're out this cookie hop again. Do you have the creep nearby? A little bit of a slow, cold snap, followed up with the tornado. Should be enough to get the kill. Harpy will continue to put out that little bit of lightning over onto Paparazzi, but I think Alone just wants to be able to hit some creeps for a change.
That is a huge kill, though, to get, because now he has earn charges. For Quaswex Invoker, this is the most important kill in the game. Getting your first kill that allows you to get some earn charges, you can start finding more kills on the back of that. So now he's stronger for both healing up and doing some damage back to the enemy. Oh, they're going on him in mid.
They are indeed, but it's gonna be fine.
He's playing with fire all the time here Alone. He's gonna get ultied by Lina. Just an angry ulti. Wow, runs up, clicks it. Doesn't even get the kill, but they are... He must have said something to them. They are playing angry towards this mid laner.
I mean, they want to shut him down. They're probably angry about earlier when he escaped with almost no hit points thanks to a good rotation from Alex. You know, they thought he was in their hands. Top lane, though, do see that Old 11 has amassed a little bit of a spider army. Hasn't managed to push down too far just yet, but they are going to go after these Chen creeps, which will make Sam pretty sad here, but... Bottom lane, the hook from Lou, just poking a bit here.
Yeah, he has a lot of spiders, but he won't really be able to pressure the lane too much as long as Eve stays around and is ready to defend. He has level 3 on the Great Cleave. It's not much Broodmother can do pushing into that, so the tier 1 tower is still untouched. 0 damage dealt, even as Broodmother is about to hit level 7 here. Finally gonna try and maybe do some tower damage as Sven is jungling.
I was about to ask, are we happy with the way that Old 11 is playing this? Obviously, you know, he's a platinum tier, he knows what he's doing, but I think it's been a little bit difficult facing off with the Sven, who does have those 3 points in the cleave. Not being able to put the damage and the pressure, and of course having to be careful that you don't feed all your babies.
He's doing great. His CS is great in particular. He has been getting so many denies against Sven, and I think that's the most important thing for you to focus on. If you can't push the lane, at least minimize what the enemy carry can get on the lane. And he's being a nuisance here to the Chen, who might go down.
Oh, Sam! Oh, that's a tip right there. There it is. I know my NA Dota boys. That's a tip and a half.
True.
That was close, though. I'm sure his butthole's a little clenched from that.
Yeah, nice TP out, though. He survives, and Old 11 is doing what he needs to do, though, just pressuring the enemy safe lane so that he creates some space for his Lina to farm and make moves that she wants. Speaking of which, TPing bottom. All on the hook. Can he get it? Oh, the spirit misses.
That is a shiny courier. I can't even tell what it is. It is so...
Yeah, what the...
bright.
What the hell is that?
It's the Beko. It's the white tiger from like an... I think it was like a Nexon event. I have that one because it's a little kitty cat. And I'm pretty stupid for cats, but... That prismatic gem is something else. Smoke play, though, coming out from the side of Wildcard. They've got their eyes. They're looking for Lina, I think. Gonna run to DY first. Looks like he's probably going to end up being the sacrificial lamb with a couple clicks. And there he goes.
Yeah, not much he can do. At least Alina survived, so he gank tanks that. But a haste rune now for Invoker. He can maybe look towards make even more kills happen. He is drawing a line. He wants to come top and try for the Broodmother.
They already popped the God Strength, though, over on Even. He's getting munched away. Turn back around. Teleports are coming out. We'll see the Primal Beast. Here comes Divine Llama. As it runs in. He's going to use that, picks him up, uses the Pulverize, and squashes himself and itty-bitty spider.
Yeah, Invoker is like, I was here too. He gets an earn charge at least for his efforts running all the way over here, but in the end wasn't needed. Nice TP by Davai.
That's the Purge voice line of, I'm helping.
Yep, definitely. Definitely. Feels like Wildcard, again, going to what we said in the drafting phase, they play a nice early game. They're now 4-0, getting themselves a pretty good start, but CS-wise, it is Xtreme that are a little bit ahead. This Lina is huge, and her impact is yet to be seen. She mainly wants to farm up. Looks like BKB is going to be the item build. Straight into it, recognizing the magical damage that's coming out from Primal Beast, Snapfire, and Invoker.
It's a lot of magic damage for sure, and also you've talked about the lockdown earlier, making sure that they're able to go and put the damage out, put the clicks down, while the beefy boys in the front take all of that other damage. But we are seeing this rotation now. They're taking over the Radiant jungle. And I think we'll finally, at this point, we'll be able to see Broodmother hit the tower a little bit, but with their own rotations down here, it's going to probably be a trade tier 1 for tier 1, although Bylon is still top.
Yeah, they TP'd out now, though, with Everon towards top, so I think Davai, when he realizes that, he's probably not going to stick around too long here. Also like what Broodmother is doing, sending the spiders out to every single area of the jungle here. He clearly is playing with the correct settings to split the spiders quickly, which is insanely powerful for scouting. We're going to see him do this a lot throughout the game. It's a really powerful tool to just have spiders everywhere.
Pressure being placed over onto the mid lane. Paparazzi, Cookie Hop 4 will just land over. Oh, barely catch Paparazzi with these kisses. This is not looking good for Lina. She likes fire, but she doesn't like this kind.
That is a huge kill.
Nice pick off.
Yeah, they needed that. They needed to get a kill on the Lina because she was looking like she's getting a little bit too big, and slowing her down is going to make an easier mid and late game for the Sven in particular, because she's most of their physical damage is going to be the Lina. So that pick off is really important.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they showed the Lina like that, because she is getting closer towards that BKB, and I feel like that's such a huge power spike for her, right?
It's going to be. I think the issue is that Lina farms so fast jungle that the jungle was kind of depleted in the area that she was at, so she went mid to try and take those creeps, and then she just found herself a little bit too aggressively positioned. So good catch by Alone. And with Snapfire, I mean, you see the potential. Quaswex Invoker and Snapfire together. The Cold Snap goes down with a Tornado catch, and Snapfire can just lay in the ulti.
Get a little cheeky here over in the mid lane, putting some pressure on Lou. And again, it's still have not seen a... Okay, we do end up having the pressure over here on this mid lane. This is, of course, very important tower for both the teams. The access point over towards the Roche area, having that TP.
Yeah.
Curious, though, to see how they're planning on moving, because do you see Old 11 creeping forward, has some webs already placed down. They'll go for the denial on the tower, though, so... Looks like Xtreme just going to back off. Old 11 continuing to farm up within the offensive. And now PYW getting poked a little bit. They'll end up grabbing that Harpy. But...
Man, it stinks really badly to get hit by the EMP like that. It's, you know, it looks like not much happened, but really that was 475 mana burned. Just gone.
There's the Pulverize, there's the Snapfire Kisses, and is Old 11 gonna make it out? I don't think it's gonna be enough. Yeah, Alex cleans up another kill.
Yeah, Wildcard playing very controlled here. I like what they're doing. And having the full Centaur army on Sam as well, these gank potentials they have are pretty strong right now. I said that we need to keep our eyes on Sam, but it's been honestly alone playing very powerful early game here. Despite not having the best laning stage, he's now been involved in 4 kills, getting a lot of earn value. And he went back for the Midas on Invoker as well, so he's trying to secure that he's not going to just be hinging on the early game going great. He's going to scale well into the mid and late game as well.
How differently do you think this would have been if they were able to get that kill earlier on when they made the rotation with the 2 supports from Xtreme?
I think they could have found themselves to be a lot more on the back foot right now, but it seems like Xtreme are the ones trying to pressure. They took the mid tower very early, they took the top tower, but even so, Wildcard are the ones in control in a sort of defensive, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu style, you know? They're letting them come to themselves and just dealing with Xtreme getting out of position. Xtreme again, looking to be the aggressors with a smoke now.
They'll start combing through the top area. They do see Divine Llama. They don't see that. Okay, Alone is there. He's got to be fast though if he wants to get out of here in time. Big Laguna, but doesn't manage to do enough as they do manage to find Alone. So this should be a kill. They'll finally take down the Invoker. Follow up now with Alex. The chase is on. The roll forward coming out from PYW, but he's here. He pops the Gust, but he doesn't have a way to get in there that fast. So he's going to have to just walk his way over. They get the stun off, but they feel reluctant to go in because they don't have Invoker. They don't have this opening here. Alright, Divine Llama chases after PYW, not going to be able to quite grab him in time as Old 11 is still just over here on the side feeling very confident that they're not going to try to make any moves on him, and he'd be correct.
Yeah, he's pretty difficult to catch here with all the high ground, low grounds, and tree lines that he can run around, so he's staying in the area, doesn't really want to back out fully. So this is, after all, when you play Broodmother, you build your home. You have all your webs up here. He doesn't want to leave it. He doesn't want to get evicted out of this area. He's going to stay. But that was a pretty good catch for them still. Managing to get the Invoker was a nice kill. It almost looked like they could catch both Invoker and Divine Llama there, but he at least charged out before it happened.
You heard it here, folks. Waga confirming that Broodmother, the coziest, comfiest hero in Dota 2, yes. Does not want to leave her home. You know, Huga. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure if I did that right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the very, very cozy little Broodmother. Just the perfect, perfect spot for her to sit. But no, I think they're doing a good effort here by Wildcard, not letting Broodmother completely own this territory though. Even though her webs are down, look at them. They're still playing the area. They're still running there all the time. And Old 11 is not getting as much farm as he potentially could here on his Brood. And Sven is actually the most farmed in the game, going for the good old Mask of Madness plus Echo Saber build. Farming quite fast. His HP drops much faster now in jungle, by the way, than it used to. The Mask of Madness really doesn't sustain you very well in jungle anymore, so he's probably happy he got the Dragon Scale for a bit of extra armor and health free.
Okay, well, we do have the Blink Dagger being flown out to Eve right now, so what I'd really like to see... Again, they've had the... okay, I was about to say, I'd like to see a smoke come out from the side of Wildcard, even though it seems like Xtreme is the one. That, man, I was going to be so cool looking. I was going to be like, I bet they're going to smoke. But then they smoked before I could say it.
Yeah.
All right, here it is. If they could get the jump on Old 11 here. Show up with the Alpha Wolf. Here comes S, but he doesn't get the...
oh, he misclicked.
Go for that. Yeah, he hits the Mask of Madness, so he can't...
Yeah.
He can't get the stun. Oof.
He must have misclicked the stun a little bit there and popped the Mask of Madness too early, couldn't stun anymore. And suddenly he popped his ulti and everything for what? So right now, Xtreme are just gonna make sure he doesn't get anything like Roche for free, but a little bit sad reveal of the Blink Dagger. You definitely want to get a kill with that one.
That's being kind, I think, by saying a little bit of a sad. That's a huge disappointment, I'm pretty sure,
sad.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's a big disappointment. He skipped going BKB first item before getting the Blink here, just because you want to be able to make impact happen right now. And yeah, now with the Dita rune on the Lina and Travels ready, she might be the one more ready to make a big move happen. She could also just keep farming though. Lina is a very farm-intense mid hero.
I mean, that's the nice thing is that she has a kit that makes her very effective if she does want to try to be active early, but also, you know, can just kick back if she has the space, if she's, you know, comfortable enough in the jungle to really burst up that way.
he's recognizing that he has to play pretty greedy because they have a Pudge carry. Pudge carry doesn't turn into a right-click hero ever. He will be a tanky hero that stands on the front line, but someone has to do that right-click damage, and Paparazzi, he knows this. So he's playing in a very selfish way here, which is really what they need out of him. Using that DD rune just to farm jungle, not even making a rotation with it.
I love how you say Pudge isn't a right-click hero. Not yet he's not Waga, but with the way that, you know, these heroes have been turning recently, it's possible that eventually we'll see that, or maybe even the right-click techies.
Hit us with a Moonshard Pudge. Go in and click.
I'd like to see Wildcard... Like, I feel like they're interested in this Roche, but when you have something like an Elder Titan on the enemy team, it's so scary to get into that pit unless you know that he's taken care of or he's on the other side of the map.
Yeah, it's difficult to get in there. I don't think you can get away with an early Roche without getting kills here. You're not going to be able to sneak it. You don't really have something like an Ursa. So it's going to be smokes again, and they're going to do it. It's Dire smoking up again. New attempt here with the Sven Blink.
PYW in the right place, right time, breaks the smoke. Only oh, a little bit off the mark. Eve. Oh dear. Eve, though, chasing after Lou. They want this kill. Get to slow down, throwing out the Snapfire Kisses. Looks like PYW is going to be the one who falls. Do they go any further, though? Do they go for this dive? They do have the tower up. They have to be careful that they don't overextend. Alone. Oh, Alone gets hooked back. Nicely played here by Lou with the LSA. That's a dead Invoker.
You can see that Invoker. Yeah, he wanted to go in there. He wanted to buff up Sven with the Alacrity and go in for that kill. Sven still had ulti, so he was trying to go. Meanwhile, top now. Perhaps Broodmother can get caught.
I feel like Eve keeps having these moments where he blinks forward and there's like this pause before he goes in with the stun.
This is nerves. This is 100% nerves. What's happening with him? Like, this is the second time that he blinks in and doesn't stun the target that he wants to go on. Sure, his blink there was into smoke reveal. The Earth Spirit was sitting behind a tree line, and he thought that someone was farming the jungle camp, because why else would his smoke break right there? So he just blinks in and stuns on the camp, but Earth Spirit wasn't on it, so a little bit too hectic there. I hope he doesn't get in his head too much about this. Easy to get nervous when you failed twice with a blink initiation.
It definitely feels like what do they call it in sports? The yips, sort of thing.
The yips. I don't watch. I only watch esports. Sorry, I'm useless for this reference.
It's okay, but yeah, you know, it's kind of like the choke, like we talked about, where you're like, okay, this is it, and then like you psych yourself out like way too hard. Definitely,
like a dog too anticipating of the frisbee throw. You know, just he was going for that frisbee.
Okay.
Nice.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I like the choice to go Force Staff. This Snapfire Force Staff is going to be very useful for keeping people safe against the Earth Spirits. Anytime that they get close, he can just force them away to safety.
And Alex is a very, very good... It's like they're in the Roche pit, actually. Are they going to be able to get there in time? They're pinging it out. I don't know. Okay, Snapfire Kisses, raining Hellfire down. They're sticking a little bit low. There it is, the jump forward here from Eve, chasing after Lou, trying to do as much damage as possible, but oh no, he's just going to get obliterated by Paparazzi, and now Define Llama. He popped his BKB, but the physical damage coming out is just so spooky here. Not going to be able to land the split. Hearth here, they'll turn back around. There it is, Paparazzi grabbing up the Aegis. Poor Esk here is trying to get away, is silenced up. PYW rolling on through, and just to land over onto Divine Llama alone nearby. The hook not going to be able to quite connect. It just brushes right past the Invoker. But now Wildcard on the back foot. They did not manage to go and interrupt the Roche enough.
Wildcard, they were in such good control of this early game, but it's getting tougher and tougher for them now. Trying to catch Lina, but not gonna do so. Of course, she has the Aegis as well now, so she'll be a difficult one to kill. But Sven trying to go on the Pudge there, the tankiest target he can possibly pick, and Lina just stood next to it, so she throws a stun. Sven doesn't have BKB, and suddenly he didn't have teammates close by enough to bail him out. He just dies. Eve having a really rough game here now.
I think that BKB is just so essential for dealing with what they have over on the side of Xtreme as well. That goes very differently if he's able, because he blinked in and then immediately got stunned. I was like, oh gosh, he didn't use his BKB, and I went, oh god, he doesn't have his BKB, because he did opt to go for the initiating blink.
Yeah, it's not just that though. He didn't disassemble, right? That's also a thing. He could have disassembled the Echo Saber and have the Ogre Club back from that in order to get the BKB, but he didn't do that. So his BKB, I'm not sure if he could have had it there in time for that fight, but he would have had it earlier than if he goes for keeping the Echo Saber like this. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't go for a dismantle.
Like you said, it's possible it was just nerves, or that he felt like he needed to have the completed Echo Saber. And he also had incredibly good farm, remember, early on. So perhaps that's also the reason he's like, oh, I can afford to be a bit greedier because I have had such a good early game.
I think for him, the reset is going to be, he gets his BKB and then it's like a sense of safety, security, you know, carry players. It's like your comforter getting your BKB. It's like you feel like nothing bad can happen to you when you have it. And I think that's what he needs right now. So he can not make these a little bit nervous plays.
It's turning into such a cozy cast, but as I say that, Mayhem breaking loose as PYW look at the roll forward, not going to be able to do it. Gets picked up, pulverized. That's another kill for Alone.
Yeah, Alone is having a good game though. That's something that is going well for Wildcard still, is that he is recovering on Invoker. Sure, he doesn't have the net worth of some of the heroes on Radiant who are starting to fly ahead with his Roshan and tier 2 towers that they've taken. But with the Midas, he is still getting stronger, almost has the full BKB on Invoker. And with the double BKB timing, along with the one they already had, of course, on Primal Beast.
Oh my god. So, yeah, Paparazzi found Eve just farming over on the side, and then Eve popped his BKB and still got clicked down.
Yeah, Lina damage. He
That's an
did it too late.
right there. I think she got the jump on him, honestly. That is his 9-second BKB, and like, again, look at this damage. Divine Llama, he's a big, chonky boy, but it doesn't matter too much. Sam, nice little save here using that Wild Wing. Is going to be able to make sure that Devi gets out safely. But now the pressure is on. It feels like, you know, Xtreme Gaming, they were very patient early on. They weren't making a lot of moves super early. And now, like we said with Wildcard, they have this tendency to do quite well early, and then the game just starts to slip out of their fingers. Yeah,
this was earlier than I expected, though. And it should be said that both you and I talked before this game, and we feel like Xtreme are a very powerful team, probably, you know, the expected winner of the group here for a lot of people. And this is starting to look, you know, they're showing why people are rating them so highly. They're starting to take full control of this game. Wildcard on the back foot now, and it's difficult to play a hero like Chen when you're on the back foot. You want to be the ones pushing, be the ones taking control, have the Aegis in your hands. Right now, with Aegis on Dina, I think they're feeling a little bit like they have to wait out that timing. But only 40 seconds remaining, then they can maybe be confident enough to make a move with all these BKBs they have. They do have Invoker's full BKB flying out.
I think another thing to note, too, we've been talking a little bit about Alone. He is a South American player that stepped up to the plate. Unfortunately, Esk was not able to continue on with the team. And Alone was the guy that answered the call. So they are playing with a pseudo stand-in, so to speak.
All right.
Which is, you know, it's a tough thing, right? Because, you know, you've got teams that have been playing with each other the entirety of the DPC. And then you've got, you know, this young kid who's obviously quite talented, but, you know, still green, you know, stepping into these shoes. And it's not even just like, you know, stepping in for a simple qualifier. Like, this is TI. This is the big one. So
it is, but that's also the dream for a lot of players, being able to get a chance to play in a scenario like this. I mean, this is what everyone dreams of, getting a chance to get to TI. Right now, it looks like Wildcard are playing really safe on their own triangle, just allowing themselves to farm a little bit. But I would like to see them make moves. They don't have any big timing coming right now. The biggest thing they have closing up is the Sanj and Kaya upgrade for Primal. So maybe they fight mid.
It's gonna just go trample forward, or onslaught forward rather. Yeah, it just feels like they're so unsure of themselves right now. And again, there is no Aegis. The Aegis did get reclaimed during all this. Esk is in a position, pops the BKB on Divine Llama. Looking for the opening, does manage to find PYW, but in comes Lou. He's got his own BKB. They'll get the kill on PYW, but this is not looking great now for Eve. He's gonna have to use a Hand of God over on Sam to run away, but the hook coming through. Paparazzi with the double damage. Gonna make sure that Lou gets the kill.
That is the second really big hook that Lou has connected in this game. First the Invoker on the tier 2 bottom, and now this one as well. That was such a nice save to begin with as well. The Snapfire, Fire Snap cooking, the Sven down to the low ground, but he still gets caught in the end by Lou. Yeah, right now it feels like the initiative is entirely in Xtreme's hands. They took that fight on their own terms, and I would like to see Wildcard just try and send people to push out the lanes a little bit and make moves. The moment Sven is up, I think you just need to go, because this game is slipping more and more the longer you wait right now.
All right, predict for me how the next fight is gonna go down here.
I feel like I feel like they need to have a clean connection with Sven going in with the blink, but they have something else that they're waiting for as well. They're waiting for Snapfire to get this Aghanims. Maybe that would be a solution for them to send in the Primal Beast and then let Sven go in more as a follow-up instead of being the initiator. If they get this gobble up on Snapfire, she's 1,000 gold away from it, then that could be the missing piece for their team fighting.
I like that idea. I feel like the mobility, because Divine Llama is a, very tanky hero with this Primal Beast, but he's having difficulty. It's kind of like Tusk Snowball, right? Tusk Snowball, you see it coming in if you use it as an initiation, and when you have this onslaught, you see him kind of, rearing up, getting ready, and you have that moment of time to be able to kind of back off, whereas, he does have the Blink Dagger queued up, as well as the Shard, but the Gobble Up is, again, another great way to be able to kind of launch him in the middle of everything. Because it's just too much pressure. It's like when you have a Faceless Void and he has to get the perfect chrono because there's no one else on the team to initiate.
Yeah, look at the spider split on the map right now. Just giving vision everywhere. No, you're right. The problem is that Primal Beast, he can only choose between either going in or going out. Oh, looks like Chen is going to go down. Yeah, Lina makes short work of them. Right now he has to pick. Either he initiates with the onslaught, and then he's committed to being in there in the fight. And that can be awkward if the fight turns out to be unfavorable. So being able to get sent in by the Snapfire, then he can charge out or charge even deeper if the fight looks good. That would be a very useful tool for him. So they're giving farm priority to Snapfire. He's leaving farm actively to his support to try and let Snapfire get this key component.
Radiant are scanning.
No, it definitely makes sense. And looks like they're going to pass off the tome over here to Sven. Get closer and closer here.
From the spider splits again.
That's horrifying to watch the way that they all just make their way over.
Tedious.
Oh my word.
It's very tedious as well because they take up so much space on the map. Look at them all split out, and you can kill them, right? The spiders are quick to kill, but you're revealing yourself anytime that you're standing around just killing a spider. The enemy know exactly where you are, and it's not worth it. The gold you're getting is not good, so it's a super annoying pool. Oh my!
That is. Oh god! All right. Well, there will be no charging out for.
I like the tips. NA tips coming in. That DD rune doing work. Lina with DD rune is probably one of the most fearsome mid laners when it comes to that rune, and he wants to make more stuff happen with it. He has the Lincolns and BKB, so he wants to hit high ground. He has nothing to be worried about if Primal Beast is dead.
Dire's top tower is under
Well, I think she's just allowed to sit so far back as that chain gun because she does have, you've got a couple methods of save coming out from your the rest of the team, and then the follow up too. You've got people to kind of tank in front, so you can just stand back, be that, not sniper, so to speak. That's the wrong word since that is a hero in the game, but you can sit so far back and just do what you need to do without any fear. Like we saw, yes, the stuns are scary coming out from the side of Xtreme, but even with the BKBs, it doesn't matter when you've got this Lina nearby. She's doing so much damage.
Yeah, she is the full damage output on their team. Of course, they have Pudge in frontline who can also do some damage now with the Aghanims that he has, along with the Cloak of Flames. Oh,
what's going down?
Contest.
They smoke over onto the cliff side, jump forward, there's the BKB, but immediately gonna get held down in place by Lewin. This click's coming up from Paparazzi, they're just way too strong. The chase is on now after Sam. He's just getting nibbled to bits as they follow up. Poor Davai Lama. Is he gonna survive this? Paparazzi is very hungry, it feels like. He'd like to get it, but he's not gonna be able to find it. But they do manage to find a low. The roll forward, cookie hop forward here, coming out from Alex. He's gonna use the Yules here, the roll forward, and they just clean up. My God. And look,
they're
this
looking like
Paparazzi
machines.
says we're just finishing this up.
Yeah, they're
Hit
just
these
gonna
towers.
push. That was very clean. And again, though, Sven trying to blink in with a stun over on the Pudge. Not even the ideal target, but Pudge BKBs before the stun even connects. The only thing he ends up stunning is the illusion. And yeah, this is just looking very
Now they're just
one-sided.
padding the stats now. Come on, guys. Down goes Davai, and this is gonna be a dead E. Yep, the GG gets called. And Wildcard, they put up a great early game. They were looking to do pretty well, but Xtreme, they're just so calculated. And once they hit that timing, man,
Yeah,
they hit that timing and closed out the game.
They hit their stride entirely. Once they had their key farm, Lina was playing pretty chill early on, jungling a lot, not stressing out too much. And meanwhile, Wildcard made a lot of good moves to, start out this game 6-0, I think, in kills. But all they really got in this game total was 9 kills. So all those team fights later on, they barely killed anything. It looked like Xtreme were just in good positioning. They put the right heroes forward. They had Lina in a safe location. It looked very calculated from Xtreme. And I think the problem that became for Wildcard is this Broodmother. Broodmother forced them to have so many heroes dedicated to controlling their own jungle that they weren't making too many aggressive moves. They were getting counter kills and they were, limiting that area for Broodmother, but I'm expecting that hero to get banned in the next game.
That's like we said earlier. I had this feeling. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they normally would ban Old 11's Broodmother, but, it slipped by in this draft, and like you said, probably not going to be seeing that again. I did enjoy the way that they kind of maneuvered around with the Broodmother, too. We talked about the Brood putting the pressure down on these towers, and they weren't really allowed to touch towers fairly early due to the fact that Eve did have, a couple points in that cleave, but I really enjoyed the way that they took the time and they microed every single one of those spiders that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Having that presence on the map, making them clean up the spider, and also just having that vision was a very cool way of running that.
Yeah, the spider thing, it's purely just a setting. You very quickly just tab for every single individual spider if you have the right settings enabled, and you can see the impact it makes. You see the entire enemy jungle, you know exactly if they're making a move or not, and then you can play much more confidently as well. So Xtreme, they had the vision advantage purely from this. Almost felt like having a Beastmaster on your team in the sense of getting that deep vision all the time.
Yeah, and how much of this did we think is just nerves coming out from the side of Wildcard 2? Because it felt like there were a couple really, they could have been such big power spikes, especially with, the Blink Dagger getting picked up and then just having those little mistakes coming into play. Was that just, straight up nerves? Could they have recovered from it, or?
I think it's a bit of a go wash your face moment. Yeah, I think you gotta just reset. Get yourself in a clean way into the game 2 here, because there's something wrong. You're feeling a little bit antsy. This is not really the way that these players can perform. They are players with a lot to prove, and I think that they really could prove it as well. But right now, game 1. Forget about it. Go reset, go game 2, and you have to just move on from this, because this wasn't Wildcard playing at their best.
Well, lucky for them, it is a best of 2 series, so they'll be able to take that moment, get up, stretch, wash their face if necessary, and approach game number 2 with a fresh mindset. And we will have game number 2 for you, but first we're going to take a quick break, and then hopefully we'll see you back here.